I'm back. Rutrance for our Black and White Network. Well, it's amazing how much these mother junkers hate our guts. They absolutely hate us. And by us, I'm talking about common sense Americans. Patriotic Americans, Republicans, conservatives. Conservative independents is another term I like to use. But these Hollywood elites, corporations, corporate America shouldn't even call themselves corporate America. Most of them are in bed with China anyway, like ABC here. ABC owns Disney, owns ESPN, and we know they very, very much care about what China thinks. Now, this video is not so much about China, but you get the point. Enter in one of the Hollywood elites, one of the late-night talk show hosts that used to have a real following among Republicans. Had a partner, had a show back in the day called The Man Show with Adam Carolla. Now we know kind of where Adam stands now politically. And Jimmy Kimmel, who's just went right off the edge of a cliff when it comes to hating Republicans and hating Trump. Well, he lost over half of his audience because of that. He has admitted to that now, and he has admitted that he hates y'all so much, he's okay with that. That he is okay with the fact that he lost over half his audience. And, although they did kind of mention it to him, ABC, they eventually just said, no, you know what, we are okay with it. Say whatever you want. So, these corporations are willing to lose all these ad revenue dollars, except that's the problem. And Elon's running into it. They probably didn't lose any ad revenue. Why? Because the very corporations that are advertising on these platforms, like ABC for Jimmy Kimmel, they're willing to lose potential viewers and viewers to their products, eyes in front of their products. And if these corporations would ever say, no, we don't want to lose potential customers, we're going to quit advertising, then maybe places like ABC would straighten up, but it's not going to happen. Let's get to this. Daily Wire. Jimmy Kimmel admits he lost half his audience for bashing Trump, and he's fine with that. Oh, boy. Late night television, outside of Gutfeld, outside of One Night a Week with Bill Maher, is a total dumpster fire. I mean, they hate our guts. And that's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. Late night comedian Jimmy Kimmel admitted during a Wednesday podcast appearance that he may have lost half of his audience, possibly even more than that, when he made a conscious choice to bash former President Donald Trump. Kimmel discussed the issue with the Naked Lunch podcast and host, Everybody Loves Raymond creator Phil Rosenthal, and he explained that he decided he could not in good conscience lay off the former president for the sake of his show's success. Quote, does ABC ever say to you, hey, could you not attack this side and lay off a little bit? Because we're going to lose those people, Rosenthal asked, noting that Kimmel's animosity extended to a number of Republicans other than just Trump. Quote, there was at one time, maybe, I don't know, like right around the beginning of this whole like Trump thing where Kimmel began, but Rosenthal interrupted. This was now 8 years ago. Yeah, something like that. Maybe not quite that long. That was kind of hinted at. But I just said, listen, I get it. I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, you're right. I've lost half of my fans. Maybe more than that, Kimmel replied. Kimmel went on to say, prior to that, research had suggested he was pretty popular among Republicans. He was. And he added, for years, I thought he was a Republican, to be honest. And he added that he had even been willing to give up the show if that was what ABC wanted from him. This mother junker was willing to walk away from his program because he hates you that much. Wow. That's just crazy to me. I mean, every Republican I know is like hardworking, good family people, strong heads on their shoulders, This is just the disconnect between Hollywood and people like Jimmy and Jimmy Kimmel and everyday Americans is so broad. It's frightening. It's frightening. And I get it. If that's what they want to do, I just said, listen, if that's what you want to do, I understand. I don't begrudge you for it, but I'm not going to do that. So, if you want somebody else to host the show, then that's fine. That's okay with me. I'm just not going to do it like that, he explained, adding that ABC ultimately allowed him the freedom to make the choice. Quote, they knew I was serious. I mean, I couldn't live with myself. Come on. Rosenthal appeared to agree, telling Kimmel that what he and fellow late-night hosts Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers were doing with regard to attacking Republicans from their large platforms amounted to, quote, a public service. This is how far out in the clouds these assholes are. You're the guys who make us feel like we're not alone. Well, you're about to find out in the midterms there's a lot more of us now than there was, specifically because of guys like Kimmel. I love this country too, Kimmel said. No, you don't. Arguing that he didn't see it as a public service so much as just something he needed to do. I mean, that flag doesn't belong to them. This is ours. Nobody said it wasn't your flag. But when you start talking principles that don't align with the country, yeah, it becomes a problem to people that love this country. It surely does. And when I see somebody coming in and ruining it, I'm going to say something about it. That's it. That's as simple as that. Fellow comedian Bill Maher took the opposite position, noting that while he was perfectly willing to attack Trump, he didn't extend that animosity towards Trump voters. Quote, it's half the country. Yeah, he's friends with a lot of Trump voters. He had Kid Rock on his podcast, and they got into it about Trump. It was kind of funny. And Kid Rock ended up calling Bill Maher a whiny little bitch, and they both just laughed about it. So you see how that works, though? ABC kind of sort of asked him to curb it, but didn't really, and just told him, hey, you got the freedom to say whatever. We're willing to lose more than half of our audience because we hate Trump, you hate Trump, the mainstream media hates Trump. If they would have gotten rid of Kimmel over this, it would have become a story in the media, which would have raked ABC, and so on and so forth. That's the problem. You got all these people influencing each other, and they've got each other's backs, right? Best example, Susan Sarandon came out the other day and made some comments kind of akin to the comments that Gina Carano made. Susan Sarandon no more got canceled than anything. What happened to Gina Carano? We know she's an actual conservative. That, ABC and Disney, Thanos snapped her out of existence, right? We know she's recovered and went on and is doing successful things now, but you get the point. As long as you're part of the group and you're willing to play ball, they're going to cover your ass. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that these people are willing to middle finger capitalism, because that's part of it too. I mean, you got more viewers means more advertising dollars. Theoretically, or that's what it used to mean. Now, the advertisers are still willing to pay big dollars for less viewers, all because of politics. It's absolutely crazy. Well, I hate to tell them, they're fixing to get a rude awakening on November 8th. Yeah. Tell me what you think. Black and white network supporters. Jimmy Kimmel hated Trump, lost more than half of his viewers. Doesn't give a F. That's fine. We don't have to watch you. We're not. Judging by the ratings, we're not. By the way, Gutfeld, #1 in late night now. A conservative late night talk show. Peace. I'm out. Till next time, Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First, 25% off USA First. Go now.